Hey, this is Stephen Wolf again, Mr. Wolf, and it is time for another First Chapter Friday, which I'm really excited about. I watched so many last week from some of you, and I really got excited about a couple of books. And I was talking to some friends about it, and I was asking them about some books that were meaningful or powerful to them, or books that they just loved. And I had somebody tell me about a book that I'm going to do this week, and I want to show it to you. It is called Wayside School is Falling Down. This is part of a series. There's more than one book in the series. There's this book, there's this one, and there's actually a couple others too. It's a series. But this book in particular is the one I want to read to you today, just the first chapter, because this book was super special to somebody, and so I figured it might be super special for you too, maybe, if you give it a try. So we're going to read the first chapter. It's called A Package from Miss Jules. Louis, the yard teacher, frowned. The schoolyard was a mess. There were pencils and pieces of paper everywhere. How'd all this junk get in here, he wondered. Well, I'm not going to pick it up. It wasn't his job to pick up garbage. He was just supposed to pass out the balls during lunch and recess, and also make sure the kids didn't kill each other. That's an important job. He sighed and then began cleaning it up. He loved all the children at Wayside School. He didn't want them playing on a dirty playground. As he was picking up the pencils and pieces of paper, a large truck drove into the parking lot. It honked its horn twice, then twice more. Louis ran to the truck. Quiet, he whispered. Children are trying to learn here. He pointed at the school. A short man with big, bushy hair stepped out of the truck. I have a package for somebody named Mrs. Jules, he said. I'll take it, said Louis. Are you Mrs. Jules? Asked the man. No, said Louis. I have to give it to Mrs. Jules, said the man. Louis thought a minute. He didn't want the man disturbing the children. He knew how much they hated to be interrupted when they were working. I'm Miss Jules, he said. But you just said you weren't Miss Jules, said the man. I changed my mind, said Louis. The man got the package out of the back of the truck and gave it to Louis. Here you go, Miss Jules, he said. Ugh, Louis grunted. It was a very heavy package. The word fragile was printed on every side. He had to be careful not to drop it. The package was so big, Louis couldn't see where he was going. Fortunately, he knew the way up to Miss Jules' class. By heart, it was straight up. Wayside Store was 30 stories high, with only one room on each story. Miss Jules' class was at the very top. It was Louis's favorite class. He pushed through the door to the school, then started up the stairs. There was no elevator. That's a long way to go with no elevator. There were stairs that led down to the basement, too. But nobody ever went down there. There were dead rats living in the basement. The box was pressed against Louis's face, squashing his nose. Even so, when he reached the 15th floor, he could smell Miss Mush cooking in the cafeteria. It smelled like she was making mushrooms. Maybe on my way back, I'll stop by Miss Mush's room and get some mushrooms, he thought. He didn't want to miss Miss Mush's mushrooms. They were her specialty. He huffed and groaned and continued up the stairs. His arms and legs were very sore, but he didn't want to rest. This package might be important, he thought. I have to get it to Miss Jules right away. He stepped easily from the 18th story to the 20th. There was no 19th story. Miss Varves taught the class on the 19th story, and there was no Miss Zarves. At last he struggled up the final step to the 30th story. He knocked on Miss Jules' door with his head. Miss Jules was in the middle of teaching her class about gravity when she heard the knock. Come in, she called. I can't open the door, Louis gasped. My hands are full. I have a package for you. Miss Jules faced the class. Who wants to open the door for Louis? She asked, and all the children raised their hands. They loved to be interrupted when they were working. Oh dear, how shall I choose? Asked Miss Jules. I have to be fair about this, I know. We'll have a spelling bee, and the winner will get to open the door. Louis knocked his head against the door again. It's heavy, he complained, and I'm very tired. Just a second, Miss Jules called back. Allison, the first word's for you. Heavy. Heavy, said Allison. Heavy. Heavy. Very good. Jason, you're next. Tired. Tired, said Jason. Sleepy. Tired. Louis felt the package slipping from his sweaty fingers. He shifted his weight to get a better grip. The corners of the box dug into the sides of his arms. He felt his hands go numb. Actually, he didn't feel them go numb. Jenny, package. Package, said Jenny. B-O-X. Package. Excellent, said Miss Jules. Louis felt like he was going to faint. At last, John opened the door. I won the spelling bee, Louis, he said. Very good, John, muttered Louis. Aren't you going to shake my hand? Asked John. Louis shifted the box to one arm, quickly shook John's hand, then grabbed the box again and staggered into the room. Where do you want it, Miss Jules? He asked. Oh, I don't know, said Miss Jules. What is it? I don't know, said Louis. I'll have to put it down someplace so you can open it. But how can I tell you where to put it until I know what it is? Asked Miss Jules. You might put it in the wrong place. So Louis held the box as Miss Jules stood on a chair next to him and tore open the box. His legs wobbled beneath him. It's a computer, exclaimed Miss Jules. Everybody booed. It's a strange class. What's the matter? Asked Louis. I thought everyone loved computers. We don't want it, Louis, said Eric Bacon. Take it back, Jack, said Terence. Get that piece of junk out of here, said Maurecia. Now don't be that way, said Miss Jules. The computer will help us learn. It's a lot quicker than a paper and pencil. But the quicker we learn, the more work we have to do, complained Todd. You may set it over there on the counter, Louis, said Miss Jules. Louis set the computer on the counter next to Cherie's desk. Then he collapsed on the floor. Now, watch closely, said Miss Jules. Everyone gathered around the new computer. It had a full-color monitor, 2 disk drives. Miss Jules pushed it out the window, and they all watched it fall and smash against the sidewalk. See, said Miss Jules, that's gravity. Oh, now I get it, said Joe. Thank you, Louis, said Miss Jules. I've been trying to teach them about gravity all morning. We had been using pencils and pieces of paper, but the computer was a lot quicker. First chapter. Wayside School is Falling Down by Louis Sachar. Again, it's a series. Give it a try. Check it out. And to the person who recommended this book to me, thank you so much. I appreciate it, and I hope you know how important I thought this book was just because you said it.